Naomi Kyle here, and this is IGN Live at E3. Right now we have a game that screams Japanese kookiness. Come join us as we take a look at Persona 4 Arena.
Thank you very much, Naomi, and good Lord, I have the great pleasure of being joined by Atlas's Aram Jabari. Hello,
Pleasure
sir.
is all mine.
A very good friend is joining me on stage today, and we're talking Persona 4 Arena.
That's right.
Which I'm very excited about because if people don't know, this is an Arc System Works kind of collaboration with Atlas.
This is two very attractive, popular people getting into bed with each other.
All right. Well, you just... Let's talk about the game.
All right, so Persona...
walk through the basics for us first.
All right. Well, Persona 4 Arena is, the Persona 4 brand has become tremendous for us. In Japan, they're doing a stage play. We obviously had great success with the RPG, the Persona series in general, and now we're taking those characters, that setting, that narrative that people love, and we're teaming up with the masters of the 2D anime style fighter, Arc System Works. You know them from Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear.
Yes.
They're bringing their game design know-how, their fantastic netcode, and they're combining it with the art and the design and the music of the Persona universe, which really is the perfect anime hardcore fighter, and it's also a treat for the fans of the RPG as well.
It's almost like you're paid to do this.
It's almost like I practiced in front of the mirror earlier today.
Like a long time. Now, so obviously this game is stunning, just as to be expected from an Arc System Works production.
Thank you for saying that.
You're very welcome. Talk to me about the basics of combat, how this game is set up.
Well, one of the things that most people who played an Arc System Works fighter know is that they are very intricate. Some of them can be a little tough to get into.
Totally.
Persona 4 Arena is a little more accessible than your typical Arc game. And one of the things that you'll know right off the bat is actually it's a fairly small roster. You've got 13 fighters. Each of them, though, is highly specialized. Many of them have unique abilities. For example, Aigis, who's actually a Persona 3 character in the game, she has a Gia mode that she can enable, where basically it's kind of like an enhanced mode for some of her attacks. In addition to that, she actually has an ammo counter, like an icon that none of the other fighters do in the corner. So each of these fighters is highly specialized, and then on top of that, so it's only a 4-button fighter. Weak and strong character attacks, and then weak and strong persona attacks.
Right.
We think of it as 2 fighters for every one, because the personas introduce an entirely unique wrinkle to each of the fighters.
And they have their own, and the personas have their own kind of set of attacks and moves.
The personas have their own set of attacks. Teddy, for example, has Teddy the popular, we're giving out shirts here at E3 with him on it. And he actually has a persona attack where he has one of 13 random items that he'll throw out. Some of them are actually like an HP boost. It's like a health potion or a energy drink that'll speed you up. So there's a lot of things to learn, but it's easy to pick up. There's actually an auto combo. Once you chain together a few normal attacks, beginner players will actually be able to initiate a combo. A lot of hardcore fighters are worried that it's going to mess up the balance.
Right.
First
As
of all,
they should, because that sounds scary, dude.
The game, you know what? Don't be. The game has been out in arcades for a while. They've worked on balancing it since then with playtesting. However, the auto combos don't do anywhere near as much damage as a manually executed combo.
Okay.
So really all it is a way to make the game more accessible to newcomers to this kind of a hardcore fighter. But hardcore, veteran fighting game fans, they're going to be able to take those people to the dumpsters pretty easily.
All right, excellent. Now let's talk to me, because I'm looking at the screen right here, and it looks like a crazy Japanese comic. I don't even know what's going on the screen.
Right, offended.
So what?
Yes.
So once we boot up a new round, I want you to walk through just the craziness that's going on. I saw, was there a burst in the corner or something?
There is a burst.
There's a bar on the bottom.
Exactly.
I don't even know what's happening.
We'll talk about it. So, first of all, the UI is, and I'm not just paid to say this, I believe the UI is incredibly sexy. That's the right word.
Sexy is a good word for it, I would say.
Here you can see the rosters. You can see once you choose your character, you have one of 8 different color sets. You can actually choose independently your character and your persona. Different color sets.
It took me a while to figure that out, by the way, when I was going through that menu.
Oh, there you go. I personally, I focus on the UI first and foremost. It's a completely superfluous part of the game, but it adds a lot to me. Now the burst in the upper right and left-hand corners for both fighters, that's a one-time, kind of like an interrupt ability. It's pretty powerful. It's like a one-time use thing.
It's similar to Blaze Blue.
Exactly right. Yeah. And then you have the SP meter at the bottom. Once you get that above 50 is usually when you can do a super attack. You also have the 4 persona cards, the blue cards for each of the fighters. Those will be expended once you use a persona ability or once you interrupt your opponent's
they're there.
ability.
They're under the timer. I see it.
Exactly, under the timer.
Sorry, I was looking around. I was like, well, I can't even see what's going on.
There's a lot going on. All we need is a T1, a Terminator on there, a T800.
Yeah,
Be good. So once we get rid of 4 of those, it actually grays out and you temporarily can't summon a persona until it refills. There are also, in a bit of a nod to the RPGs, status ailments. So you can confuse your enemy. Left becomes right, right becomes left. You can poison.
That would be a disaster.
Well, for your enemy, yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
And again, the netcode is built on Arc System Works' tried and true foundation.
Absolutely.
They've been doing this for years. BlazBlue has a tremendous online reputation.
They've been around for a while.
And it's global online. The North American and Japanese versions release a couple weeks apart. So basically, once you pick this game up, you'll be able to play with people in Japan. And we've tested it, and we believe that it plays fantastically.
Who comes out first, the North American
Japan is going to beat us out just a little bit.
So they
it's
have
the
a head
rotation
start.
of the Earth.
They have
what
a head
it is.
start. They're going to be way better at the game than us.
They're going to, yeah, that's possible.
What and you know what? I like that you said that the roster is small because, as you said, highly specialized fighters. Again, similar to other Arc System Works projects in the past, but that just means like they're each so fun to play.
I think anyone who's played a hardcore fighter, and I mean, I was at EVO a year ago, and I was listening to people, every time Phoenix came on this screen for Marvel vs. Capcom, there was a response. Balance is everything, right?
Absolutely.
And so with 13 fighters, every single attention has been paid to making sure the game is balanced. And again, we have months of arcade playtesting that's gone into retooling and balancing the console version. Quickly.
Oh yes, of course. So for people that don't know, always comes out in the arcade first. Most of the
yeah,
time.
exactly right. And we have some extra modes just to quickly touch on. We have the arcade mode. We've got the versus mode, as you'd imagine, online mode. There's also a tutorial mode, the requisite training mode, practice mode.
Of course.
There's a challenge mode and online. So I mean, the story mode is, as if you played BlazBlue, you know that story modes in their games are
very
just
elaborate.
A torrent of text and voice. This is one of the biggest voice localizations we've ever had.
All right. Excellent. No, I was just saying good word, torrent.
Yeah. Torrent,
I'm complimenting you.
Yes.
What is one of the characters here has like a big axe or something? What is that weapon that's on the left right now?
That is actually illegal in all 50 states.
I can only imagine.
And that is her axe.
It almost looks like it has needles on it. I can't quite make it out.
We actually looked into turning that into a promo item. We wanted to do like an inflatable version of that, but
can you do that just for me?
Just for you?
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, I will personally blow that up for you, Ryan.
All right, that would be great. What you were saying super moves earlier, which is governed by the bar running along the bottom.
Right.
Does each character have like a set of them?
They all have, absolutely. There's a command list you can go into as with any fighter, and they do have a number of super attacks. Some of them, I think they each have a different number requirement, but once you get over 50, I think usually is when you can execute those. A lot of them are the double half circles. You know, there aren't a lot of really complex combos, but what it is again, the characters are all kind of intricately unique.
Of course. And what was I going to ask you? I just totally lost my train of thought.
How are you doing? Are you doing well?
I'm
doing fantastic.
What I wanted to talk to you about also was that Arc System Works very famous for doing, you know, like one-hit kills, like really spectacular finishing moves. Do we see any sort of thing like that here, or is it just the supers?
There are some. It ties into the uniqueness of the characters. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's Yukiko. You can get to a certain point with her flame attacks. The characters in certain situations can get to a point where they could do like a one-hit kill, but I think you'll find it's not quite as unforgiving maybe as some of the more intense, you know, BlazBlue for example.
Yes.
This is a game that strikes a balance between accessible and hardcore. It's as rewarding as you want it to be, especially in tournament situations. And
saying everything I want to hear, man.
Absolutely. But I think someone who's new to it will be able to pick it up and play easily.
Fantastic. Well, I think we are out of time, but tell us when we can go buy this game immediately.
August 7th. Feel free to pre-order Xbox 360.
It was like a very friendly.
3. That's an invitation.
Yes. All right. Aram, thank you so much, man.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure, and I'll kick it back to Naomi Kyle.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Very cool. And if you guys out there want more E3 video, be sure to subscribe to youtube.com/IGN or check out e3.ign.com. Your mind will be blown in a completely safe and non-messy way. Up next, we have a very special reboot for a very special guy. Come join us for the new Devil May Cry.